Welcome to War Bios, the podcast that delves into the most pivotal conflicts in history, where strategy meets sacrifice and leadership is forged in the fire of war. I'm your host, General Biography, and today we're going to explore one of the most decisive battles of World War II, the Battle of Stalingrad. This industrial and logistical hub was not only a crucial source of oil and armaments for the Soviet war effort, but also a vital transportation center, with riverboats and barges playing a significant role in supplying the Red Army. The origins of the Battle of Stalingrad can be traced back to June 1942, when German forces launched Operation Blue, a massive campaign aimed at capturing the city of Stalingrad and securing control of the Volga River. The German army, bolstered by the successes of the previous year, was determined to crush the Soviet Union once and for all. As they advanced deep into Soviet territory, they encountered fierce resistance from the Red Army, which had been rebuilding and reorganizing since the devastating losses of 1941. The city of Stalingrad itself was a vital industrial center, with numerous factories producing tanks, artillery, and other war materials. The Soviets had also established a significant military presence in the area, with several divisions stationed along the Volga River. The city's strategic location, at the confluence of the Volga and Don rivers, made it a crucial transportation hub, connecting the Soviet Union's European territories to its Asian regions. As the German army approached Stalingrad, the Soviets launched a series of counterattacks aimed at slowing down the enemy advance. One such counterattack, led by General Vasily Chuikov, took place on August 17, 1942, near the town of Kotlebun, just north of Stalingrad. Although the Soviet forces suffered heavy casualties, they managed to inflict significant damage on the German army, buying valuable time for the defenders of Stalingrad to prepare for the impending battle. The Soviet commander, General Georgy Zhukov, had been tasked with defending the city at all costs. He knew that the loss of Stalingrad would not only give the Germans control of the Volga River, but also provide them with a strategic foothold in the Caucasus region, where they could threaten the Soviet Union's oil fields and disrupt its supply lines. As the German army closed in on Stalingrad, the city's defenders were busy preparing for the siege. They built fortifications, laid minefields, and established strongpoints throughout the city. The Soviet Air Force, although outnumbered, played a crucial role in harassing the German advance, bombing their supply lines, and disrupting their communications. The strategic importance of Stalingrad, combined with the determination of both armies, would lead to a conflict that would test the limits of human endurance and military strategy. As the German army, led by General Friedrich Paulus, approached the city, they were met with fierce resistance from the Soviet defenders who had been preparing for the siege. The Soviets had built extensive fortifications, including trenches, bunkers, and strongpoints, which would become the focal points of the battle. The city's streets, once bustling with civilians, were now empty and eerily silent, awaiting the impending onslaught. The German army launched its assault on August 23, 1942, with a massive artillery barrage that shook the very foundations of the city. The Soviet defenders, led by General Vasily Chuikov, held their ground, despite being vastly outnumbered and outgunned. They employed innovative tactics, such as hugging the enemy, where they would position themselves extremely close to the German lines, making it difficult for the Germans to call in artillery or air support without risking friendly fire. As the battle raged on, the streets of Stalingrad became a maze of rubble and ruins, with both sides fighting for every inch of territory. The Soviet defenders used the city's terrain to their advantage, employing snipers, machine gunners, and mortar teams to devastating effect. They also made liberal use of makeshift weapons, such as Molotov cocktails and improvised explosives, to attack German tanks and infantry. One of the most iconic episodes of the battle took place in the industrial district, where a group of Soviet soldiers, led by Lieutenant Anton Dragin, defended a key factory against overwhelming odds. The Germans launched wave after wave of attacks, but the Soviets held firm, using the factory's machinery and buildings to their advantage. This epic defense would become known as the Factory District Battle, and it would go down in history as one of the most heroic episodes of the war. As the battle reached its climax, the Soviet commander, General Georgy Zhukov, launched a series of counterattacks aimed at encircling the German army and cutting off their supply lines. The most significant of these counterattacks took place on November 19, 1942, when the Soviets launched Operation Uranus, a massive assault that involved over 1 million soldiers and thousands of tanks. The Germans were caught off guard, and their defenses were quickly breached. The encirclement of the German army marked a turning point in the battle, as they became trapped in the city, with no escape route available. The Soviets then proceeded to squeeze the life out of the German army, cutting off their supplies and pounding them with relentless artillery and air attacks. On February 2, 1943, the German army surrendered, marking one of the most significant defeats in military history. The battle resulted in over 1 million casualties, including thousands of civilians, and it marked a major shift in the balance of power on the Eastern Front. The surrender of the German Sixth Army on February 2, 1943, marked a significant turning point on the Eastern Front. The loss was catastrophic for Germany, with over 300,000 casualties, including more than 100,000 soldiers taken prisoner by the Soviets. This defeat was not only a massive blow to German military prestige, but also had severe repercussions on their strategic position in Europe. Following the Battle of Stalingrad, the Soviet Union gained the initiative on the Eastern Front. The victory marked the beginning of a long and bloody push westward, as the Red Army sought to drive Nazi forces out of Soviet territory and eventually out of Eastern Europe. This push would culminate in the capture of Berlin in April 1945, signaling the end of World War II in Europe. The aftermath of Stalingrad also saw significant diplomatic fallout. The battle solidified the alliance between the Soviet Union and the Western Allies, as it became clear that the defeat of Nazi Germany was a common goal. However, it also laid the groundwork for the Cold War, as tensions between the Soviet Union and its former allies began to rise. The massive loss at Stalingrad weakened Hitler's position within Germany, but he retained control, leading to further catastrophic decisions. The human cost of the Battle of Stalingrad cannot be overstated. In addition to the hundreds of thousands of military casualties on both sides, the city of Stalingrad itself was left in ruins. Civilians suffered immensely, with many killed or displaced during the battle. The survivors faced unimaginable hardships, including starvation and exposure, as they struggled to rebuild their lives amidst the rubble. In the years following World War II, the Battle of Stalingrad became a symbol of Soviet resilience and determination. It was commemorated in numerous monuments, films, and literary works, cementing its place in Russian historical consciousness. The battle also served as a stark reminder of the horrors of war and the importance of diplomacy in preventing such conflicts. It underscores the importance of strategic decision-making, the impact of leadership on the outcome of battles, and the profound human cost of conflict. The battle also reminds us of the enduring power of resilience and determination in the face of overwhelming odds. Its legacy continues to shape our understanding of World War II and its impact on global politics. As we move forward, it's essential that we remember the lessons of Stalingrad, striving for a future where such devastating conflicts are a relic of the past. Thank you for joining me on this journey through one of history's most significant battles. That's all for today's War Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, I'm General Biography, reminding you to keep marching toward victory.